What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Steven, hashtag 40 Acre Addicts. Say what's up to our co-host, Henry. Say what's up, Gat.
What's up, Longhorn Nation?
Say what's up. Let's dive into it real quick, like Texas versus TCU. What do you think they got for us, Gat?
Gary Patterson's had our number, man, but I don't think he's got Casey Thompson's number.
No.
We'll see.
Whole different group of Longhorns. That's for
Let's see
sure.
what Mr. Thompson can do against his horn frog defense.
Yeah, and then they weren't looking too hot against SMU, and I watched that game several times, and SMU's run, I mean, especially in the fourth quarter when it matters the most, when you need to run that clock out on your opponent, SMU got the job done. They ran, you know, their last drive lasted like 6-7 minutes. Ran the whole clock out. Left them nothing. Well, it might have been more like 5, but still. They didn't turn the ball back over. They didn't 3-and-out it. They ran 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 it till that clock hit 0. And there was nothing TCU could do to stop them. And their backs have nothing to us.
Yeah, that's scary if you're 1 week you can't stop a runner, and the next week you have to face John Robinson, Roshan Johnson, and Keelan Robinson.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Brooks. I'm sorry.
Well, Brooks is killing it too, boy. Yeah, I really see the run game on both sides of the ball being the key factor, because they were able to get a lot done in their run game too, but they weren't playing much of anybody with SMU. And they don't have the greatest passer in Duggan.
No, man, I'm hoping, man, if we can put up another 60, 70 points, oh, man, that'd make a statement going into Red River rivalry. That's how you set fear into somebody.
If we hit another 60, 70 points before Red River rivalry, we'll probably have the most points scored by a Longhorn team in history going into the Red River rivalry.
You ain't kidding, man. Our offensive efficiency the last 2 weeks, or ever since Casey Thompson has entered the game, the last 2 drives of Arkansas included, we haven't been stopped. We haven't punted. We haven't went for a field goal.
No.
Like, his efficiency is off the charts. And I know it can't last like that. At least I think it can't last. But we don't know Casey Thompson. We're learning him as the rest of the world is learning him.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to have a bad game eventually. I just hope it ain't in the month of October.
Man.
Yeah. So like 247 Sports said,
road games ahead of us.
I don't think we're going to know who's going into the conference championship game until getting close to the end of November. The way the Big 12 is playing right now, too. It's wild. And hopefully,
yeah, man. What is up with Spencer Rattler getting booed?
Yeah. The whole... Did I get to tell you about how bad that hurt their recruiting? That was their big recruiting weekend that they did that. I mean, how dumb a fan do you have to be? I mean, any other coach is going to walk right up there and be like, look, you see how they do their quarterbacks? He was just like you, sitting in the stands, watching, hoping, oh, yeah, this is the school I want to come to. And then here he is, 4-0, winning, and they're booing him for the backup to come in. Is that really where you want to play, or do you want to play with us? Come watch our footage, and you won't see not a single game to where we boo our players.
Yeah, we supported Hudson.
Yeah.
And then now we're supporting Casey.
Yeah. For all you Oklahoma fans out there, you are 4-0. Quit crying.
Yeah, we supported Keontae Ingram last year after the fumble to TCU.
Now, we were supporting Herman after the Iowa State loss. Not immediately, but shortly to come, we were still supporting him, hoping he would stay.
Man, I never want to leave that stadium crying again, bro.
That was horrible.
That was a terrible feeling.
Because it wasn't just a loss, it was the loss that took us out of the Big 12 conversation.
Yeah, it took Sam out of the record books, really, because you got to win the Big 12.
Yeah.
It's just sad that all those yards he had in no Big 12 championship. All those touchdowns.
Yeah. Herman, man. Couldn't win. He's amazing at, bowl games. For some weird reason. Why can't we play like that all season? I don't know. But it is what it is. That's what it was back then. It's not what it is now. We're all gas, no brakes. I don't think they install any brakes in the Steve Sarkisian's cars. I think they only come with a gas pedal. When he wants to stop, he just has to slow down way ahead of time and just let it idle down.
Yes, man, if we come out on fire again, it's just a different feeling. We haven't had this feeling in forever, to where we could walk away in the second half and do dishes because we know
Comfortable.
that there's no way they can get comfortable, bro. We haven't felt like that in years.
Yeah.
Years. Thank you, Sarkisian. Thank you, Texas football team.
So,
thank you, Coach DK. Thank you, Jeff Banks.
Let's dive into some defense. Do you think their receivers are going to finally be afraid of Josh Thompson? You think he's going to establish that fear?
Look at SMU's corner shut down their number one receiver and limited him to 0 catches.
Ooh.
0. We have Josh Thompson, Darius Dunn,
Jameson. You gotta catch up, boy. Gotta catch up. Can't be letting everybody burn you. How are you able to burn everybody on the field on a punt return and kick return? But when you get these guys who got that 4.3 speed, you're getting burnt and left in the trail.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. You're sitting there running a 4.2 when you're making your return. Do that when you're covering somebody. So.
You know what we didn't talk about last week?
What?
Jordan Whittington's tackle on the Casey interception.
I don't even
that
remember.
That dude slung that guy out of bounds, dude, to his head on the ground. That was awesome.
I'd have to go rewatch it. Don't even remember.
Okay, yeah, and then you have to rewatch the next biggest hit, which was Brendan Schooler on Jameson.
On who?
On Jameson. Schooler took Jameson out, bro. Shit.
Was it an accident?
Yeah, it was on that out of bounds play.
Oh, man.
Where he got burnt?
Yeah.
Yeah, he took him out.
Trying to hit old boy and accidentally hit his own guy. Yeah, that's another one I missed. That'd be part of a blooper reel right there.
Yeah. Those are two big tackles that we didn't talk about.
Yeah. I liked Foster's hit early in the game on that. I think it was a third and short or something like that. They tried to run it up the gut. He was there.
That's when I texted you, BJ, you should get the jammer this week.
That one right there, yeah. That's the definition of a jammer.
I can't wait till he gets to hit somebody that's standing straight up like that.
Ooh. I love when Foster finally gets to connect. There's just so many of those times he hurts himself. I do want to dive into Arkansas and Georgia before we get off here because and then Alabama and Ole Miss, because Arkansas and Georgia Man, that is going to be a hell of a game to watch, bro. Who you got your money on?
Uh, Man, I got my money on Alabama.
All right. Well, that's an easy one. I hope Ole Miss comes up with the upset, but I was honestly kind of talking about Arkansas and Georgia because that's the
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my money on Arkansas, baby. Shoot, let's go.
Let's go, Arkansas.
I never really even liked JT Daniels.
Yeah. Fuck JT Daniels. He is good though, but we did beat him back in 2018. We didn't just beat him, stop the mud hole in him. Uh, I think it's gonna be one of the most interesting matchups all season because it's gonna be something that we just don't get to see anymore, and that's a powerhouse run game. You know, back 90s style. We're talking about all run and all defense in this game. This ain't finna be no air raid. We're seeing 400 yards apiece on both sides of the ball being passed. I guarantee you they get lucky if either one of them gets over 200 yards passing in this game. Lucky.
And here's another hypothetical. If we come out and play like we have the last 2 weeks, we put up another 50, 60 points, smoke them with these. Will Casey be in the Heisman race after that? Like, what's it going to take to get Casey's name in that song?
If it doesn't happen after this week and we have a blowout game, OU. He's got to beat OU.
It'll have to happen during that.
You know? Yeah, he beats OU and he has another good game here against TCU. He doesn't have to have that same baller game against Oklahoma. When it comes to that game, he just needs to win. If he wins with the badass game against TCU, we're talking about Heisman contender right there. Guarantee you he's in the top 5 conversation. Who else would you have in the Heisman conversation? Because I got one. I don't see him making
From our
the
team?
list. Huh? Yeah.
From our team?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, John. I think they said his chances are like 1 in 6,600.
No, I'm not talking about Bajan. We already know Bajan, and we just added Casey. I'm talking about the third, like how Steve did at Bama. The third one we could have on the list.
We got to get X some more yardage. We got to get him catching those big passes, man.
You know, Xavier Worthy. He's scary.
He's got to catch a couple of 60, 70 yarders in the game.
Yeah.
Which is totally doable in his future.
That's my favorite part about this new offense is when we're getting plays, we are wide the hell open, like a Alabama, Clemson, well not Clemson anymore, but Ohio State of the world. You know, we are looking good when we're making big plays. Very good. I mean, how do you like what was it, Louisiana raging? Bajan's pass touchdown, there wasn't a person within 30 yards of him when that ball landed in his hands. Nobody was covering him. And that's happened multiple times with not just Bajan, but so many of our other players throughout the week. He knows how to get the players the ball in space to where they can actually do something after they catch it. That's why Xavier Worthy's been able to sit here and break these tackles as little of a guy as he is, because he's got 10 yards to set up and think about what he's going to do before he gets to the defender. He's not catching it, turning around, and then they're popping him. He's wide the hell open. But yeah.
That's a fact, man.
Yeah. We're about 15 minutes in if you want to cut her short here.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm fixing that to go.
Yeah. Yep. Well, for all y'all Longhorn Nation out there, remember at 1,000 subscribers, one of you can win Jacoby Jones's game day glove. Me and Henry got a lot of work to do, long day, and you know what it is. Like always, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, hit the like button, do all that good stuff. And until next time, hashtag for the Acre Addicts, hook 'em.
Welcome.